I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. It's time!
It's Sunday, December 13th, 2020. This is the Church of MMA podcast. My name is Tabor Cragen.
My name is Mason Knight. This is episode 51, UFC 256 recap. After that, we jump into some MMA news, and then we talk about the Thompson and Neal preview show. But Tabor, where do we begin?
With our social media accounts, Mason, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at the Church of MMA. Guys, if you aren't following us already, make sure you go and do it. We're posting funny memes. We're trying to make you guys laugh. Clips of the show. Hit us up.
Check out our YouTube channel too, guys. We are up to 375 subs. We did not gain any this week. First week, I think since March, April, that we didn't gain any subscribers. Kind of weird. So hopefully we can hit 400 here soon. But we thank each and every one of you guys for tuning in. And, next thing's next. If you guys want some church merch like this sweatshirt I'm wearing right here. Whoa,
hell yeah.
Look at that. You guys can find that in the link in the description below.
Absolutely. T-shirts, mugs, face masks, all kinds of different stuff. Mason, your designs are awesome. Guys, it's all made in the house. It's all going to the show. It's all helping the show out. So anything is appreciated. It'll make a great gift. So go buy one for someone you love or you hate. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, right.
Well, quick little Rona update, Mason. We are back on Zoom once again this week. I wanted to be in studio. We were talking Fight Companion for this crazy card that just happened. I cannot fucking wait to get into that.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to get into UFC 256, man. Oh my gosh.
Insane. Absolutely insane. Can't wait. But quickly, I was just having a few symptoms, man. And now my brother is sick. Essentially another one of our employees tested positive for Rona, so we're all assuming we have it. So just to be safe, I was even Saturday I woke up and I wasn't feeling too bad. I thought I had gotten over it. Thursday, Friday I was fine, but Saturday I woke up and just every once in a while I just get a little bit of shortness of breath, and just that alone was for me making me go, all right, maybe I should just stay home.
Man. And it's never fun when you can't breathe.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I'm not nervous or anything. I don't feel like I'm going to die, but it is a little weird sometimes because even me, I'm damn near a daily smoker, but I've never really had breathing problems before, so it'll definitely wake you up.
It will.
Yeah, but fuck all that. Fuck Rona. No one gives a shit.
Yeah, for real.
Why are they here? To talk UFC 256. Dude, lived up to all the hype? Dude, every fight I feel like was great.
Can I just take a second here on this podcast real quick, Tabor? I owe someone an apology here, a very sincere apology. I am such a jackwagon, and you know what? This is why I could never get in an octagon and do what these guys do, and this is why I sit behind a mic and I talk shit and I don't know anything. It is absolutely incredible. I owe the biggest apology in the world to Brandon Moreno. He just showed you what a warrior this man was. Davidson Figueiredo looked great in this fight, but then Brandon Moreno, dude, I could not believe the tenacity in this fighter. He definitely has that Mexican boxing spirit, man, because it was just a beautiful outing, and this is a top contender for Fighter of the Year. And Brandon Moreno, I will never count you out again. And I have learned my lesson. Wow.
Absolutely.
I mean, dude, this fight, and we'll get into it. This masterful performance by both, throwing hands. You never knew when someone was going to go to sleep or not. This fight was just phenomenal, and it's top tier Fight of the Year. Obviously.
Really? You think so?
Oh, yeah. Top tier Fight of the Year. Oh, unquestionably. Yeah, top 3. Absolutely. No questions asked. This was the greatest fight in flyweight history. Even according to Dana White. I mean, so it's kind of hard when you say, hey, this is the best fight ever in this specific division, and then it's not a nomination for Fight of the Year. It's kind of a tough thing to make. So
yeah, I mean, just think about it. We gotta pretty much pick a Fight of the Year in a couple weeks. Mm-hmm. We are doing the end of the year review show for the fans. Dude, this is for sure. I mean, could you do a tie for number one? This and Zhang and Wei Li, dude, this is neck and neck. It's going to be so hard to pick Fight of the Year. This was a fucking barn burner, a 5-round war, dude. I mean, let's kind of go into the rounds. Who did you have winning that second round? That was a bit of a round of debate online.
Yeah, that was the round of debate for me too. I just actually, I had to rewatch this fight again. In the second round, dude, is so close. So close. And actually, the first time I watched it, I actually thought Brendan Moreno won the second round. Gideon came over. We didn't do a fight companion, but he was over watching the fights with me. He had the second round for Figueiredo. I had the second round for Moreno. But after watching that, man, I watched it over again, and it's still real close, but I kind of leaned towards Figueiredo slightly the second time I watched it. Mm-hmm. But gosh, dude, it was, I think that was probably the closest round in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Well, how'd you have it? I mean, the first time I watched it, I was saying Moreno, and then, like you said, I kind of rewatched a little bit. I started to, got distracted, had to do some painting today, but dude, I don't know. It's one of those rounds it's a toss up in my opinion. And when I do the eyeball test, I thought Brandon Moreno won that round, but when you start going by the numbers, it's like clearly Figueiredo outstruck him by the numbers. So I don't know. Going back, when I first watched it, I thought Brandon Moreno got robbed. I thought he won the fight. I thought he won 2-4. I mean, you take that point away. I mean, the judging was kind of all over the place in this fight. I'm not going to lie. I mean, someone had Brandon Moreno win in the fifth.
Yeah, someone had him win in the fifth round, which I thought was a little funny. But, I mean, dude, let's just talk to the testament and heart of Brandon Moreno. I mean, I have never seen a groin strike that hard in my life. He peeled over. He was, like, crying. He was coughing. I thought the man was going to puke. Tabor, I was blown away in the third round when it only took him 2 minutes to recover from that groin strike to get back out and finish that third round. I can't believe that. Dude, when it happened, I said, fight over, call it. There's no way in hell this man is getting up from that groin strike. That was, but again, Brendan Moreno, a savage, man, and completely underrated by apparently people like me.
And honestly, a smart move by him to not take all 5 minutes because Figueiredo was gassing.
Yeah, he was.
And he did not want to give him back that gas tank because Figueiredo, I mean, the pace these men were throwing in the first round. I was like,
oh my God, it was insane.
What the fuck am I watching right now?
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. Insane.
That second round, though, there was like a 7 or 8 punch combination that Figueiredo landed. Like almost every single punch of that 7-8 combo that kind of, I think, was the highlight of round 2. And I think just going back to the second round, that's why I kind of edged it out for Figueiredo. Might have been at like the 2 or 3 minute mark where it was like, oh, whoa. So I don't know. This fight was so close. I'm actually glad that this fight ended in a draw because it was so hard for me. Like, I just watched it. I just rewatched it. Like, the judges didn't have an easy fight to judge there. I thought the appropriate call was made. You know, a majority draw. Obviously, Figueiredo retains his title still, indeservedly so. And we're just going to see this fight run back. Like, I mean, think about it, Tabor. Either guy that won, and don't get me wrong, obviously Moreno would have liked to win the majority draw and, you know, be able to, but that's not the issue here. The issue is, like, we're going to get a rematch right away. Like, that's what we want to see, and that's what we're going to get. But Dana White's going to give these guys plenty of time. I'm thinking, like, 6 months off at least after this war?
It depends on that arm. You know, Joe was saying himself he thought that arm was broken. So if that arm's broken, it could be 8 months. You know, it could be 9. I have no idea. I have no idea.
But modern Moreno in the post-fight, I watched all the post-fights. Moreno said, no, my arm isn't broke. He goes, something's wrong with my shoulder. He goes, it hurts a little bit. It's a little, you know, it feels a little out of place. But he goes, I'm fine. So that's good.
That guy's a savage.
Yeah, he is.
What the fuck? That was a beating. They both.
I can't believe it.
It was so back and forth. I think when it comes down to it, I'm probably going to lean Zhang and Joanna for fight of the year still. Yes. Just because I think I still don't know who won that fight. Doesn't matter how many times I've watched it. I still don't know who won.
And can I tell you why too? I thought the fifth round in this fight, not to take anything away from these guys, insane fight. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. It was a fucking, honestly, like, it's got to be the first runner-up in my opinion for fight of the year. Like, easy for me. But that fifth round lacked a little bit.
Well, Moreno just completely took it off.
Well, so did Figueiredo. Figueiredo did too. I mean, Figueiredo won the round. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, Figueiredo wasn't.
At least he was doing a little bit more.
Yeah. So in Weili Zhang versus Joanna, that was all 5 rounds, nonstop. So I got to give the edge to them on that. But nonetheless, this is the first runner-up, and what a way to end the year. The last pay-per-view of the year. I mean, man, and these guys to come out after fighting 3 weeks ago to come back and fight for a title in a 5-round main event. Hats off to both these fighters, man. This is what I love it as an MMA fan, as a UFC fan, is just like, these guys are game, they're ready to go, and it just blows me away, man.
And they made 125. They made 125 twice.
Yep.
In 3.5 weeks. Like, fucking take notes, Michael Chandler, because like these guys don't give a fuck. It's wild to me. And maybe that is why they started to fall off into the fifth, because dude, that's gotta be
exhausting. Oh yeah,
on your cardio. So maybe that is why Figueiredo started to fade in those later rounds. So a rematch is very interesting, especially if we give these guys fight 6 to 8 months.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, man. You might have fight of the year in 2021 with this fight.
Absolutely.
I mean, God,
early,
this rematch.
Contender.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I can't wait. So do you just want to move on to the next fight, Mason? Because I mean, I know you want to talk about
that. I absolutely want to talk about this. Tony Ferguson versus Charles Oliveira. We have a new contender. I mean a new next in line contender in Charles Oliveira. Oh my God. I've never seen anyone dominate Tony Ferguson the way that Charles Oliveira did. I mean, beautiful. He literally had a 10-8 in 2 of those 3 rounds on the judges' scorecard. That is insane. That is unheard of. Like, wow. Complete and utter domination. And but you know what? Again, hats off to Tony Ferguson. I know he clearly lost that fight, all 3 rounds, whatever. But as Dana White said, 10 out of 10 people tap. 10 out of 10 people tapping that arm bar, dude.
That was fucking insane.
Well, in the last 5 seconds, Charles Oliveira tucked it.
Yeah.
And even stretched, and he still didn't tap. And I'm like, there's no one else in the world other than Tony Ferguson not to tap from something like that. I mean, literally, that looked like his shoulder was completely out of place. It was... Dude,
Go ahead.
It was hard to watch. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. It was hard to watch, man.
Yeah, you give Charles another 5 seconds, that fucking arm is snapping.
Oh, yeah.
Like, breaking that thing, and the fight's over right there. Yep. It's just absolutely crazy how these things play out sometimes, because he literally did get saved by the bell.
Mm-hmm.
I think really this fight here just laid to rest all the talks about the Khabib stuff.
That's what we'll jump into next, yes.
Well, I mean, let's just be real. I mean, not only does it kill the chance of that fight ever happening, Tony Khabib, I mean, we already knew that was never happening, and it's never going to be on the radar ever again. But I mean, that's probably what would have happened. Maybe even a little more viciously if Khabib did fight Tony. So maybe that put all those talks to rest on if Tony is good enough off his back to fight these elite grapplers like a Khabib and a Charles Oliveira, because dude, that was suffocating.
Yeah, but we got to talk. Yeah. It was a master class in jiu-jitsu. I mean, it was technical. I mean, the way Charles was passing, it was seamless. It was beautiful. It was at the perfect timing every single time. Dude, wow. I just want to see Charles Oliveira fight again. Like, I'm serious. Like, I really want to see him fight either the number 1 contender with a guaranteed title shot or just the next title shot. Like, dude.
Yeah, I think he needs to be fighting for a belt next. Yeah. Absolutely agree with you 100%.
8 in a row. 8 in a row, folks. That's not easy to do. We're talking about the lightweight division here. That is not an easy task to accomplish.
Insane.
And you know what?
I mean,
8 in a row, we were talking about Tony Ferguson deserving a title shot. Charles Oliveira right now has won 8 fights in a row. At some point, you got to sit there and go, title shot.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, we were talking about it before in our preview show for this UFC 256. I was saying Charles Oliveira could very well be the dark horse in this division, and I think he has completely proved it. What are your thoughts?
I mean, if he isn't, I mean, I want to see the Khabib fight. I'm not gonna lie. I say you throw him right up there, give him the Khabib fight, go for 30. No, I don't think GSP is ever happening. Let's be real. I think I have more of a chance of dying of Rona right now than GSP ever fighting Khabib.
So you
less
dying,
than 1%.
Dying of. Yeah, so that would be like what, 0.4, 0.5? That's not very good odds for that GSP.
That's good odds. I think I have better chances of that than ever seeing.
Now, if you said surviving, I'd say, okay, well, that's your pretty good shot. We're going to get that fight because that's well over 99%. But
yeah, I don't know, man. I maybe Khabib never fights again. I think that I'm starting to lean towards that. I don't know what they do with this lightweight division, but I think Charles Oliveira, if he's not fighting for a belt next, it's just I think he's fucking up. Because beating the Tony Ferguson, that's like the biggest notch in your belt you could make.
The only caveat to that, though, is Tony Ferguson, lost his last fight too. He's on a 2-fight losing streak right now.
Yes, but it was for a title. It was for a belt.
Yeah.
So I think there's still merits that he was what, at the time 4 in the world, I think 3 in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Was something like that. I don't think it matters. Anyone in this top 5, especially in a division like lightweight, can get a title shot. I mean, shit. I mean, Zhang Wei Li, when she won the belt, I think she was like 9 or 10 or something like that. So really, I mean, if we're really talking, rankings don't matter. So, I mean, who's more deserving right now if we're going straight into it? I mean, we could do matchmakers with the winner of Habib and Dustin and Conor, or a winner of Michael Chandler, Justin Gaethje fights each other for a vacant belt. Right. I don't know. I kind of would rather see that Habib fight. I'm way more interested in that, to be honest.
Yeah, here's the thing. We're going to have to just break this down the lightweight division right now with Charles Oliveira beating Tony Ferguson. All right, so let's play 2 hypotheticals here. One Habib defends his belt. If Habib takes on, one more fight for 30-0, now that it all comes down to the Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor fight, right? Whoever wins that fight, and this is where I'm going with this. If Conor McGregor wins, they're going to fight again. Like, it's just, it sucks. I don't want to see it because it's going to be the exact same thing. I think it'll even be worse for Conor. If Conor does somehow end up beating Dustin Poirier, I think it'll be worse for Conor. He'll take him down in the first round and submit him. I mean, it's not going to look good for him. But if Dustin wins, I'd rather see Charles Oliveira, like you were saying earlier. I'd rather see him fight Habib than see the Dustin rematch like we did at UFC 249 or whatever that was,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. I'd rather see that matchup than name a guy.
Yeah.
I mean, other than GSP, really. I mean, it's GSP Habib and now Charles Oliveira Habib.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I really think that's it. I mean, Charles, he's so fucking good. Like, let's be real. If there's someone that can compete with Habib on the ground, we all thought it was Tony Ferguson.
Right.
And now it's Charles Oliveira, dude.
Yep. He has really taken that spot, in my opinion. And he's the only guy who hasn't fought Habib. I mean, we saw Justin Gaethje get submitted by Habib. We saw Dustin Poirier get submitted by Habib. We saw Conor McGregor get submitted by Habib. And hey, everyone was talking about the Tony Ferguson. Oh, dude, what about his jiu-jitsu? Is he going to be able to hang? And he just got dominated by Charles Oliveira on the ground, might I add. Yeah. That's the fight we got to see. Habib versus Charles Oliveira. I know it's the fight that's probably not going to sell billions and billions of dollars, with ad revenue and pay-per-views and all this shit like Conor McGregor would. But I just don't want to see Conor go out there again and get submitted.
Yeah.
I mean, call me crazy, but, and then it's like, at this point, if Habib, there's nothing in it for Habib except money. So I guess if Habib wants to come back and go 30-0 and then beat Conor McGregor if he beats Dustin Poirier, then I guess whatever. But you take out Charles Oliveira, you are unquestionably, you've wiped out the whole division in the Tony fight you'll never need because he literally just fought Charles Oliveira and absolutely dominated him. Oliveira did. So at this point, Habib, you beat a guy like Charles Oliveira, you have no one else to beat. 30-0, perfect record, and you are unquestionably the greatest of all time in the lightweight division, especially.
Yeah, I mean, really, I guess it comes down to legacy. I don't think Habib's in it for the money. He's talked about legacy. I want the legacy. I want to be the GOAT. I want to walk out on top, which I think he already did.
Yeah.
So maybe it never happens.
Okay, so Habib doesn't happen. Let's talk about the second scenario.
Let's say Habib doesn't happen.
Retires. He vacates the belt. Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor. Dustin wins the belt. I think honestly we'll probably get what? Who's Justin Gaethje going to fight?
Chandler.
Probably Chandler.
I bet you it's on that. Yeah. I bet you it's on that card
for the co-main.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they're setting that up. Maybe they want to do that. I mean, because that's still not going to be for a title, Dustin and Conor. So maybe the winners of those fights fight each other for a vacant title.
Yeah, but where does that leave Charles Oliveira?
Exactly. That would be the biggest fuck you ever to him because his name needs to be in that picture.
Well, he's top 3 now. He just beat 3 in the world.
Yes. Regardless of who wins, Justin Gaethje, Michael Chandler, I don't think they deserve an immediate shot. Justin just got his. Didn't work out for him. I think you give it to some fresh blood.
Yeah, man. I think I think the fight that I want to see now, and I feel like I'm jumping, kind of the bandwagon here, but the one I'm most intrigued with, honestly, I think GSP would get beat. I think GSP's 39 years old. I'd love to see the fight. I'd tune in. I'd pay $100 for that pay-per-view. No joke. Just for the spectacle of what it is. And there's something magic about GSP where he pulls off wins, and he just wins and wins. That's what he does. He's very strategically smart even. But I think even with the GSP fight now, the one fight I have to see is Charles Oliveira versus Khabib Nurmagomedov. That's the fight I want to see. That is my number one right now, even over GSP versus Khabib. I'm just being honest. After seeing that jiu-jitsu masterclass, I got to see that. Because
I think it's just a better matchup.
Yeah. And 5 rounds of it, too? Are you kidding me, or what?
It'd be amazing. The grappling transitions alone, I would pay money for. Like, if it was just a grappling match with no striking, I'd still want to watch.
And Charles didn't even look tired in this fight either. I mean, he looked in tremendous shape. The pace was insane. His transitions were insane. I mean, come on, we gotta get this guy fighting Khabib Nurmagomedov. And I don't think I'm speaking out of turn either. I really don't.
Absolutely. I agree 100%, Mason, with everything we just said. So I did take Oliveira. Took him 3rd round sub. Still got a point.
Good take on that.
Yeah. Okay. I've been waiting for this. My fucking guy, Kevin Holland versus Jacare Souza. Oh my God.
Did you see what I tweeted on our page right after this fight?
No,
Kevin Holland, fighter of the year, hashtag UFC 256.
100%.
Fighter of the year.
100%.
Fighter of the year. There is no other fighter who has done what he has done, and it ended on such a high note. Not even Khamzat Chimaev, who has had a brilliant career, but with this whole Leon Edwards fight being off, and then we'll talk about that. But man, Kevin Holland right now, if that fight doesn't happen next week, we'll jump into it in a little bit. But right now, as it sits, winning 5 in a single calendar year, and the way he beat Jacare Souza, that vicious KO. Oh my God, just bended him back and just landed on him. Yeah, it was absolutely insane. This guy, winner, fighter of the year, hands down. I don't even think it's a debate at this point.
It's not a debate, dude. 100%
no way.
Fighter of the year.
Yep.
Who else? You can't name a guy and have it
the second one.
No, dude. I like me some Hamza. I'm not gonna lie. I really like Hamza.
Right, but you got to understand the context of what I'm speaking of. If he would have fought Leon Edwards and beat Leon Edwards,
maybe.
Maybe Leon Edwards top 3 in the world.
So Jacare,
this guy wasn't even on the map 12 months ago.
I know Jacare is unranked, but the fact that he is unranked in that middleweight division, in my opinion, because I said this last week, I think that is very disrespectful. That man is a top 5 middleweight, in my opinion. Yeah, he's maybe 7, 8. He's top 10 for sure. He should have been ranked. He should have never been ranked, but he did go up to light heavyweight, lost that fight, blah, 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 whatever. Kevin Holland. Dude, if you're going to knock a guy out like Jacare off your back, and you're going to win grappling transitions with one of the greatest jiu-jitsu guys we've ever seen. I didn't even know that Kevin Holland was a black belt.
Dude, Kevin Holland, know. Yeah. Well, he just looked stronger, faster, and just, I mean, his punches, to be able to stun someone the way he did on his ground, he literally swung his leg and put all that momentum. He's so long and lengthy, and he just landed that perfect punch that just stunned Jacare, and it was game over after that, man. I mean, God, this is just, I love watching this guy. We were so hyped on him a few months back, man, and we're becoming fanboys of Kevin Holland at this point.
I'm a big fanboy, dude. I'm not gonna lie. When I heard him go, man, I had a dream about this, I started cracking up laughing.
And he's so loud. He's so loud when he talks shit. It's hilarious. He's like, oh yeah, just you can hear him. You can hear everything that he says, and I've never seen someone so cool, calm, and collected to be able to get punched in the face, to be able to get, just beaten up, and to be able to talk shit as you're getting punched from the bottom. It is uncanny, and it's just the coolest thing in the world. Kevin Holland, I really hope this guy's a superstar one day. He absolutely deserves it, man. I'm telling you, this guy could. He's so marketable. He's so funny. He's so authentically him that I think a lot of fight fans are just going to fall in love with the fact that he is who he is. And I don't know, man. I just love Kevin Holland. I love him. Mm-hmm. I talk about him for all day.
I think he's great, dude. I think he's doing a lot of things good. I mean, he's taken some of what Conor McGregor made so famous and successful with that shit talk back in the day, but he's a good guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a fucking great guy. He's super nice guy.
Yeah. Oh, super nice. But he's not corny about it either. It's not like this act. It's not like this WWE act. It's it is who he is. He has fun talking shit while he's getting punched or while he's punching people. That's pretty cool, man. That's what you want to see out of fighters. It's unique. It's different. And it's so marketable, man. I mean, I love what he's doing. Let's talk about the call out after this fight. He called out Khamzat Chimaev. He goes, hey, I'm doing it better than you are right now. He goes, hey, you say anytime, anywhere, then sign the dotted line. Let's fight in a week.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about this fight? What if it happens? What if this fight happens December 19th? I'm Tabor. Don't shake your head. No, I don't want that negativity.
It's not
I don't want that
happening,
bullshit. No, keep your mouth shut. I'm saying, what if it does? How stoked would you be?
Okay. I mean, I'd freak the fuck out because it's the fight I've been calling for months. Remember, I've been saying that's the fight I want.
Yeah, you did. You said it 2-3 months ago at least.
A long time ago, dude. This was before after Khamzat's first fight at middleweight. I mean, I was clamoring for that fight right off the bat.
Yep.
But now, I'm not gonna lie. I think Kevin Holland's above the echelon of Khamzat Chimaev right now. He might not be as popular because I do believe Khamzat is going to be that next big thing, not only in the Middle East but like everywhere that has like a Muslim base. Like, dude, this guy's going to be the next big thing for the Muslim fan base.
Oh, unquestionably, he's the next.
Especially now that Habib's retiring.
Yep. Yeah,
he's the next big thing. So he's going to have all that hype. I'm hoping. I mean, America is such a hard market to get behind you. I mean, there are so many great American fighters, but for some reason, the American fan base doesn't get as big or as far behind these guys. I just hope that happens with Kevin Holland because he deserves it. I don't think that fight happens. I think they're sticking with the Leon Edwards fight. I don't know when they make it. It's got to be early 2021. It's got.
I mean, it would have to be. And if anyone's had a worse year in 2020 as far as in regards to fighting, it has got to be Leon Edwards. We have to feel for the man. He was the first fight pulled and, the last fight pulled of this year, at least in 2020. So it's devastating, man. It really was. When that fight was called, I was so upset. My stomach dropped. But it is what it is. I will tell you, though, if that fight is made next week, I'm going to be stoked. I mean,
5 rounds?
Oh my gosh.
For 5 rounds? Dude, I'd walk straight up I don't care if I didn't get my ass. I'd walk straight up to Wonder Boy, be like, just bitch slap and be like, dude, should have took 5 rounds, pussy. Now you got fucked up. Dude, that's how you make a name. Take the more rounds, take that extra money, get this hype behind you. Steven Wonder Boy Thompson, I mean, I don't want to call you vanilla, but he's been very vanilla lately, and he's very loud. He was talking about how he's mad that Khamzat's getting all this hype. Now I kind of hope this fight happens. Make it just to piss off Steven Wonderboy Thompson.
What? You mean you think what they do is push them down to co-main?
Fuck yeah. They were originally co-main. They should be. I mean, but that's not going to happen. Kevin Holland's not fighting next week. Khamzat's not fighting next week. No, they're sticking with that. I'm just talking shit into a microphone. So
yeah, but I love the call out. Nonetheless, the marketing's great on Kevin Holland because they really put the ball in Khamzat Chimaev's court. Because Khamzat always says anytime, any place, I smash. That's what he says. That's what he does. And then Kevin Holland's like, hey, bro, I just fought and I'll fight you next week. And it really is great marketing because it makes Khamzat, respond. You have to respond. So
I'm taking Kevin Holland in that fight if they ever fight, dude.
Oh God.
I think he knocks him out.
It'd be awesome. Can you imagine the hype behind Kevin Holland after that?
Grand Theft hype. He'd pull up Jorge Masvidal, bro. He would fucking take everything and then
he might jump to superstar status like that. Instantly. Like that. And he's already making a name for himself. Can you imagine if you were to go out there and knock out Khamzat Chimaev? Oh,
how many?
God.
I mean, I'm wondering how many performance bonuses he got. I mean, he won 5 fights, so he got all those win bonuses. We all know that.
Well, he definitely got performance.
I think he got like 4 or 3 of them, something like that. He's made a lot of money this year.
Well, he's made a lot of money. He's made a name for himself. I love it. I love this kid, man.
Yeah, well deserved. Let's move on to this Junior Dos Santos fight against Cyril Gane.
Yes.
So this was a fight that you predicted perfectly, actually, Mason. You called this second round KO.
I'm not impressed by your performance.
That's the wrong bucket button.
It's normal.
Nope.
I predict these things.
There we go. Third time's a charm. God.
Yeah.
Awful.
But yeah,
I'm
dude,
fired.
Cyril Gane, like, not only is he big, but how big he is, the way he moves, how light on his feet he is, how dominant he is with those kicks. I don't see a lot of people being able to compete with this man right now, dude. The way he just pieced up Junior Dos Santos, I think he's a serious threat in this division. I'm not going to say he's going to go out there and just, fuck up Francis Ngannou right off the bat. I'm not saying that.
Okay.
But I'm saying
about to counter you on that.
He can be very competitive with a lot of these strikers. I mean, technically speaking, I think he's one of the best.
Yeah,
I mean, I think
absolutely.
he's up there with like an Alistair Overeem right now in this heavyweight division, dude. I think he's very dangerous on the feet.
Yeah. You know, I mean, who would you give?
I don't know, dude. I'm saying like a Jairzinho Rosenstrike. That's a very interesting matchup. That both these men, both in the KO JDS. So I think that's the matchup to make. They're both incredibly technical strikers. It could be a very interesting matchup.
Well, Cyril Gane is now, it is not official on the UFC ranks, but JDS was number 7 in the world before that fight. So I'm assuming Gane would take that spot. So a 7 versus 3 would make a lot of sense with Jairzinho Rosenstruck.
Yeah, I mean, if not him, I mean, you got options. You got like a Derek Lewis. I mean, that fight fell through with Curtis Blades, maybe even a Curtis Blades. I'm almost willing to kind of stick Cyril Gane up there in that upper echelon. Let's get some fresh new faces in this heavyweight division. It's something I've been calling for really all year.
Yeah,
it's getting a little bleak at the top up there at heavyweight.
Yeah, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that entirely. I mean,
I'm just saying,
well,
maybe not bleak, stale with the same names. I mean, I feel like it's other than Jairzinho, that's like the only new name up there.
Yeah. I mean, we have top 5 here: Francis Ngannou, Curtis Blades, Jairzinho Rosenstruck, Derek Lewis, Alistair Overeem. But, come on. I mean, Alistair Overeem, we got to give him a little credit. He has won a couple of his last fights, and he is on that last road to trying to get a title fight, and he does look impressive. And it's like he's had a resurgence with his chin. It's just it's astonishing. But
yeah, and he's out grappling people.
Yeah, he is. He's been looking really good as of late.
Yeah, he's looking fantastic. He's looking like the complete package. He really is. Yeah, so big ups on Cyril Gane. I can't wait for his future. I'm going to say probably I think they make that Jairzinho fight. That's the one that's really sticking out to me.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Cub Swanson versus Daniel Pineda. Cub Swanson's coming off that torn ACL, so that was a big talking point coming into this fight. Was his knee going to hold up? And it did. I mean, it did look like it started to buckle a little bit after a couple of those calf kicks. Yeah. And you can't be shocked that Daniel Pineda was just attacking that leg right off the bat. And you can't be shocked that it put Cub a little bit on a red alert there right off the bat. So I thought this was a fantastic fight when Cub really started coming alive and winning some of those exchanges and landing big combos. I don't know what to say with Cub Swanson other than I'm impressed, but I still don't think he's a top 15 featherweight right now. He's just coming off a few losses. This was a very impressive win over a big 45er, but I'm not 100% on this hype train of Cub Swanson right now. I still think he might be on the tail end of his career.
Well, absolutely. I mean, there was even discussions about Cub Swanson, as you had alluded to earlier, about the torn ACL, whether or not he would even come back and fight at that point. He is getting at towards the tail end of his career, but let's not take anything away from him either. I mean, coming back after that injury and being able to do what he did against Pineda, I thought for what the fight was, it was very impressive. And do I think Cub Swanson is going to make another run? No, I, if I'm being honest, no, I don't. But I don't think he is nearly at a point where we got to say, hey, this guy has to retire. He looked great. He looked great that night. And I think he still has enough in the tank. And that's the thing, man. There are some times in these fighters' careers where, gold is obviously always, every fighter wants gold, right? But I think at a certain point in these fighters' careers, they fight because they love doing it. They fight for a paycheck. And they go out there and still get impressive wins. And I thought that's what Cub Swanson did tonight. And I think he's still got enough left in the tank to have a couple more fights, if I'm being honest.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm not saying he should retire either. I just don't want to see him fight upper echelon fighters right now, to be honest. I think Cub Swanson needs to be fighting these guys like Daniel Pineda, these unranked guys. And, I don't want to call him a gatekeeper because I think he's better than that. Mm-hmm. I just don't think he needs to go be fighting of his beats or, someone up there. I don't think he needs to be taking top 15 matchups.
You can do again what these other fighters do sometimes in their career,
Legacy fights, dude.
Legacy fights, or you take a couple, 1 or 2 more fights, maybe unranked or 15, 14, get your feet under you, get established a little bit more as your resurgence, and then make one last run at it. Alistair Overeem, Jan Blachowicz. I mean, there was even a time in his career where he had lost 2 or 3 fights, and didn't look like he was ever going to win gold, and now he sits today as a champ. So it's always in the cards for these fighters to be able to go out and do that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Big ups on Cub Swanson. Looked like he broke his hand though, so unfortunately that might set him back a few months. But hopefully he's back in the octagon.
Yeah,
you know,
hopefully
if he wants to be. All right, Mason. Last fight we talk about before we move on to some MMA news. We have to talk about this Renato Moicano versus Rafael Fiziev fight.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Wow, what a
that
KO.
combination, dude!
Beautiful.
Crazy.
Yep.
So much power. Rafael Fiziev's a fucking savage. I mean, I can't believe I forgot about him because I knew of Rafael Fiziev. I mean, who can forget that fucking lean back from the head kick? Remember that Matrix shit he pulled off against Daisuke not too long ago?
Yep.
So I think he's on everybody's
no joke,
radar
man.
now.
That's a striker in your own right. So yeah, this guy's on top of the world right now.
Yeah. I can't wait for his future. I mean, there are so many unranked lightweights right now that are just completely ridiculously good. I mean, we say it every time. I feel like we say it every podcast. Lightweight division is the most stacked division. It's
unquestionably
really
the most stacked.
Yeah. I mean, that guy's his striking's beautifully. I mean, it's just beautifully done. His technique is so good. The cleanest Muay Thai you could find really around right now, I think. I mean, that Tiger Muay Thai, I mean, people are flying there from all over the world for a fucking reason, dude. They got their shit together in Phuket. I think there might be something in the water. USADA, check them out.
Check the water now, USADA. We demand pee, and we demand it now.
Demand it pee. I don't care if he's jerking off. Get it immediately.
Well, I don't need a sample of that. I'll just take urine.
Oh, sorry. MMA news time, Mason. Let's do it. I mean, it's not every day we start off with some Bellator news, but it's a special day today, so let's do it. Anthony Rumble Johnson is no longer under the UFC banner. He signed with Bellator, and I guess my first reaction really to this is, fuck, that kind of sucks because I really wanted to see him fight a potential John Jones or something like that, regardless of weight class. But now it's never going to happen. And I get the decision. It's got to be a money one. He's probably making way more money. Some people are speculating USADA. Well,
that's what he said too. He came out and said, you know, fuck the UFC's contracts, basically, not paying him what he deserves. But man, I got to be honest with you. This was such an incredibly sad day for me when I saw this news. I was so bummed that Anthony Rumble Johnson went to Bellator. As you had just talked about, you know, I wanted to see that John Jones fight. I wanted to see him fight for a light heavyweight title, you know, potentially against Jan Blachowicz. I mean, imagine that fight on the feet and just who's going to KO who, you know. Ridiculous. I mean, that would have been so much fun to watch. There were so many amazing matchups in the UFC light heavyweight division and heavyweight division for Anthony Rumble Johnson for however long he wanted to fight for. But to sign with Bellator, I understand from a business aspect, I get it. But as a fan, man, I was really bummed. And it's like who is Anthony Rumble Johnson going to fight? Like we know he's eventually going to be a title holder in Bellator, you know, whereas UFC, you know, the cards have yet to be played, you know? So it's, I don't know. It was a little disappointing if I'm being honest, but hats off to Bellator, man. They're still signing A-list fighters. I mean, cream of the crop. Like to debate whether or not Anthony Rumble Johnson is the top of the top, you would be insane. So hats off to Bellator and Scott Coker.
Yeah, and hats off to Rumble, dude. It's got to be a money decision. You know, it's absolutely got to be. So many people are speculating online that it's USADA. Maybe he doesn't want to be in that USADA testing pool. It's kind of a dumb thing to say because he already has been in that USADA testing pool for quite a while now. I think over 6 months. In reality, he probably could have taken a fight already under the UFC banner if he really wanted to. It hasn't happened. I'm sure negotiations were just completely fucked. The man wants to get paid, and I don't blame him. So good on him, dude. He's going to go beat the shit out of a few cans and get that belt and then fucking defend it 900 times there, dude. He could fight till he's 52 at Bellator, I feel like. I mean, let's be real. I mean, who is there out there in that light heavyweight division?
I don't know. I mean, the champ just beat Ryan Bader, and I always forget the guy's name, but that's it. Like when you have Bader as your, you know, it was just the champ of the light heavyweight division, unless Scott Coker was just joking or he wanted to keep it on the DL. He signs Yoel Romero. Yoel goes up to light heavyweight and we get that fight. How much fun would that be?
That would have been that seems like a no-brainer. And it shocks me that this is a piece of MMA news. Yoel Romero gets turned away.
I know.
By Scott Coker. They say they're not in that Yoel Romero business. What are you thinking, my guy?
I don't know, because that is the perfect fight.
Yes. And
it's a win-win for your company too. Like, you don't have to sign a 43-year-old Yoel Romero to a 5-fight, 6-fight contract. Sign him to a 2-fight contract.
Yes.
100%. 2-fight contract. And that's it. I mean, it's like, I get it. He's 43. He's getting older, but we've talked about it before in our previous shows. He has the gas tank. He still is Yoel Romero. He is a Cuban specimen. There's something special about this human being. He's just built as a brick shithouse. So there's no reason like Yoel can't keep fighting. And I'd like to see him in Bellator. And it's just a shame that Scott Coker did not sign Yoel.
Yeah, I agree 100%, dude. It's a little weird because, I mean, people give Bellator so much shit that they're just that. This is what they do. They hire the old
I understand that.
fighters. I mean, they hire the old fighters that nobody cares about anymore.
I know, but
the guys that probably shouldn't be fighting. So maybe they're trying to defeat that.
I know, but out of all the old fighters you signed throughout your whole fucking organization's career, you're not going to sign the one that you should sign?
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, dude, you've been doing it for years and years and years. Just do it one more time. Just do it one more time, because it's going to pay off for you.
If they had signed Anderson Silva,
no, not Anderson.
Signed Yoel, dude. Could you imagine that? Like, what
I can't imagine that, because Anderson Silva's 46 years old and he's lost a step. As we talked about in our last episode, Yoel Romero has not lost a step. That's the difference, man. Unless we know, or unless Scott Coker and Dana White and all these, presidents know something that we don't know as just ordinary people. Like, outside of that, there's no reason for us, with the evidence that we have, for someone not to sign Yoel. It's the strangest thing to me. Like, that the one guy that has the gas tank at this age is not being signed, when people throughout history have signed fighters who are old who don't deserve to be signed,
Yeah. Well, Scott Coker came out and said that I think they're trying to get away from this business model because they do get labeled like this. So it's something a lot of people talk about with Bellator. And now they're saying that they're doing so well developing their younger guys that they've had over these last few years, and they're starting to make names for themselves. So he really thinks that, they don't need to sign these outside guys anymore. They could really build enough hype internally. So if that's the truth, I understand 100%. But I don't want to see fucking Yoel go to ONE FC.
You know what I wish? What I wish for Bellator?
Keep him in the States.
You know what would give them so much more legitimacy? If they just changed their fucking name, dude. Like, no, I'm being serious. Like, Bellator is such a dumb name. If they were to do like IFN or something like that, like put it to acronyms like the UFC does, I think they would be so much more well respected. But a name like Bellator, it's just like it's such an odd like name. Like, why Bellator? Like, why not just like Ultimate Fighter or Fighting Championship, ONE FC? I don't know. It's just like, it's weird. It's weird to me. It's such a dumb name.
Yeah, I don't even know what the fuck a Bellator is.
I don't know. It's probably like some Greek
like
god,
Gladiator or some shit. I don't know.
I'm ignorant to it.
Gladiator FC. That sounds better than Bellator.
There you go.
Anyways, let's get off to Bellator news. As much as I like Scott Coker, it's time for some UFC stuff.
Absolutely.
So Dana did come out and say that Michael Chandler is in the wings right now. We still haven't heard anything. Nothing's been announced, but he's saying very, very soon we will have a fight announced for Michael Chandler. I mean, if gun to my head right now, I think it's Justin Gaethje. I think that's what they're going to make. I hope it is. I mean, other than that, who else? Who else would Michael Chandler wait for? I guess nobody.
That's literally it, man. It's got to be Justin Gaethje. I mean, as we said before, McGregor and Poirier are matched up. Tony Ferguson just lost his fight. It would either be that or Dan Hooker.
Ooh, I didn't even think of a Dan Hooker.
It's either that or Dan
Hooker would be a fight too.
That'd be a hell of a fight. That'd be a fun one.
That would be a hell of a fight.
Yep. And you know what? I'm just being honest here, okay? Michael Chandler coming in from Bellator, hasn't had a fight in the UFC. I don't think he should be a one fight and then to the belt. What I'd rather see happen is I'd rather see Justin Gaethje take on Charles Oliveira in the event that Khabib retires, right? In this world that we're in right now of Khabib being retired. I'd rather see Gaethje take on Charles Oliveira and then give Chandler Dan Hooker. See how he does against Dan.
I agree with you. I mean, I was saying a few weeks ago, I was all in from giving Michael Chandler a number one contender fight. Just, it was so much fun to talk about. It was a wrench into the division. Habib just retired. We were getting shit moving. But now it's like, I've really come off that Michael Chandler hype train, dude. I'm not going to lie. I don't think getting a first round KO over Benson Henderson gives you a number one contender fight in the UFC. I'm sorry, it doesn't. I think a first round KO over I can't talk right now. First round KO over Dan Hooker does.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Unquestionably. Even a win. Even just a win over Dan Hooker. Because Hooker's been in some wars, man. I mean, with guys like Paul Felder, it's like, you got to give him the shot, you know, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, and he was one fight away, essentially, from a damn near title shot with a win over Dustin Poirier when that fight happened. Didn't work out for him. But, I mean, I think that's the matchup to make, dude. That's the name for Michael Chandler right now. I think they go Gaethje route. They're really pushing Michael Chandler.
They are.
And
they're pushing him a lot.
He's a big name. He's a big name, and he can probably get some pay-per-view buys. I think people are really interested in this experiment. I think there's a reason why Ben Askren had so much hype coming into his first fight. People want to see these outside guys if they can compete with these upper echelon UFC fighters. So I guess I'm interested at the very least.
Yeah, I hear you.
All right. So we just talked about him last week. The Italian stallion himself, Marvin Vettori, has been talking some shit, and there's some names rattling around his mouth.
There is.
And he's very angry that this certain person moved up ahead of him in the rankings when he hasn't fought.
Hold on. Whoa. Hold on. Vettori angry? We never see that man angry.
Shocker, dude. The man's a fucking saint. He's never been mad in his life. So this is
he doesn't yell in hotel lobby rooms or anything like that. But dude, Vettori, in all seriousness, that's a great fight. That's a great fight. Vettori called out Till, and Darren Till's like, hey, yeah, I'll take it. They have verbally agreed. Now, this isn't contract, but they verbally agreed to fight. And I believe they verbally agreed on Twitter, if I'm not mistaken.
That's usually how it goes with Till. Till's, got his fingers are always going on
it's
Twitter.
Always going on Twitter.
Always going on Twitter. The man's a madman on Twitter talking about his birds.
But I mean, what do you think about that matchup, though, Tabes?
It's the matchup you make, dude. It's the only matchup you make right now at 185 pounds. I mean, it's if not that, then like maybe a Kevin Hall and Marvin Vettori. But Marvin Vettori, I mean, there's some things happening in this 185 pound division. I got to talk about. I got to bring it up. They were talking about Paulo Costa versus Robert Whittaker for an interim belt. I think you have to put Marvin Vettori in there. I think Marvin Vettori, that win over Jack Hermanson, if he's not fighting a Paulo Costa for a number one contender or a Robert Whittaker for a number one contender, I don't like any other matchups. I think Marvin Vettori needs to be in that number one contender fight. Kevin Holland, he could wait his turn. I think Paulo Costa doesn't deserve that fight specifically, especially if it's for an interim championship. If they want to make Paulo Costa versus Robert Whittaker, I understand that. It's a number one versus number two. It's a true number one contender fight, I guess. I would just rather see a Marvin Vettori in there. But if that doesn't happen, Till makes me happy.
Yeah, so let's break this down real quick. Robert Whittaker, number one contender in the world, just beat Jared Cannonier just a couple months ago. That kind of eliminates him. Paulo Acosta got embarrassed by Israel Adesanya. I don't want to see Robert Whittaker versus Paulo Acosta. I'm just being honest. Like, I don't want to see that. And I like your theory there, Tabor. And I just want to move back just a little bit and talk about Marvin Vettori. Vettori is very smart and calculated here. What was he, 12? Before this fight, like, and then he took the 5 spot, right? Which I think Jack was actually 4. Jack bumped down to 6, and then Marvin went up 8 spots, so he's at 5 right now. So you have Marvin Vettori, knowing that he was a top 15, beating a top 5, calls out number 4 in the world, Darren Till. Okay, I love this fight. What I don't love is the Robert Whittaker versus Paulo Acosta. I don't want to see Costa fight Izzy again. I don't. Like that showed me literally everything I need to know. What I'd like to see, Tabor, and this is where I'm getting down to it. Eliminate Paulo Acosta. Don't want to see it. You can't do Jared Cannonier coming off that loss to Robert Whittaker. You take the winner of Darren Till versus Marvin Vettori, because isn't Izzy dealing with like some sort of injury or something, or he's taking the year off?
Dude, they're making that
rest of the year
fight.
off.
They're making that Jan fight. I think that's what they're doing.
So let's do this. So if you're making the on fight, right, that's a light heavyweight fight. That's going to take time to develop, 6 to 9 months before that fight happens, probably in all reality, maybe a little sooner. I would rather see the winner of Darren Till versus Marvin Vettori take on Robert Whittaker for the interim middleweight belt. That's what I want to see. Robert Whittaker has already made his statement. He is the number one contender in this division, deserves a title fight. Doesn't have to fight again, but deserves one. Yeah, Marvin Vettori doesn't deserve a title fight right now. Darren Till doesn't deserve a title fight right now. Now, if they beat whoever wins that fight, definitely does deserve that title fight. And I think that's where that interim belt comes into play. Have Izzy bump up to 205, and then you let Robert Whittaker versus the winner of Darren Till, Marvin Vettori, fight for the interim belt. What do you think about that?
I agree with you 100%. I like that matchup with the winner of Darren Till and Marvin Vettori fights a Robert Whittaker for an interim title. I think that's the route they're going. They're going interim title because Izzy is going to take this Jan fight, I believe. Mm-hmm. So that's going to stick this whole division in limbo for a very long time. So an interim title might be smart.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost the perfect time to do it, though. It's almost the perfect time to do it with Robert Whittaker losing, Paulo Costa losing, and then Jared Cannonier losing to Robert Whittaker. You know, it's kind of like Izzy's kind of like essentially just decimated the division, so it needs time to rebuild. And you got 4 and 5, Darren Till, Marvin Vettori, new blood, fighting Robert Whittaker. Winner of that, you know, gets the next title shot. I think it's perfect timing. And normally I don't like the interim stuff, but in this scenario right here, it makes sense with the timeline, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, real quick, does Robert Whittaker, what do we do with Apollo Costa then? I mean, since he's not fighting for Robert Whittaker,
Paulo Costa takes on Jared Cannonier.
I think so too. I think that's the matchup, dude.
Why
not?
Both guys coming off a loss. Either that or Jack Hermanson coming off a loss, or Derek Brunson on his way up, but that's it. That's who you get, Paulo Costa.
I think he got embarrassed too badly. I think he really needs to work his way. I don't want to see him just.
I definitely don't want to see him fight for an interim belt. No way. And not after the way he handled himself either. I mean, it wasn't the worst, but he didn't handle it great, you know. Yeah. So, which I understand. I understand to a little bit, because if I got fucking humped, if I got humped afterwards, dude, like I'd lose it. I'd beg, you're a dick. That's crossing the line. I mean, I get why Izzy did it. It's smart, you know, more publicity, but that shit wouldn't fly with me either, dude. I'd be pissed off about it too, as like a professional athlete. So I mean, I get Paulo Costa's position, but he's got to win 1 or 2 fights before he gets an interim belt. Yeah,
it's the ultimate disrespect. All right, last little bit of MMA news. Francis Ngannou, he's been chirping a lot. He's very, very frustrated, man. He is sick of waiting for this Stipe fight. It's the fight everyone's making. Everyone knows this is the fight that's going to happen. He's just pissed off because he's waiting for so long. He hasn't had a fight. He wants to fight. I kind of am like, well, I mean, I get his frustration. We all know he wants that title, and he's fucking on a goddamn tear, just like he did the first time. But at the same time, you still lost that first fight to Stipe, dude. I mean, you don't have any negotiation pull in here. You are the B-side, so I guess my only advice to Francis is you got to shut up and wait, dude. I'm sorry, but I mean, there's nothing you could do.
So that's your take.
I guess. I want him to fight. I want him to fight right now. I want him to fight tomorrow. I want Stipe to fight tomorrow. But it's not happening.
All right. So look, man. You are an apologist for Stipe Miocic, and I am fucking over it.
What do you want him to do? Fight
I am over it. Listen, I'm done. Look. Okay. Francis Ngannou is the number one contender in the heavyweight division, period. End of discussion.
Yes.
I am sick, and so is the UFC fans. We are sick of seeing the UFC heavyweight fight once a year. I'm done with it. I'm tired of it. Everyone else is tired of it. Francis Ngannou, you're trying to tell me doesn't deserve this title fight? Yeah. Okay. I will give you this. He lost to Stipe. He lost to Stipe Miocic.
I never said he doesn't deserve it.
Well, you said whatever. You got to wait your turn.
I'm just saying I don't want to hear him bitch because I don't think he deserves it right this second. I mean, maybe he does.
I think he does.
I think he does too, but you're the B-side, bro. You don't got the belt. You lost that first time to Stipe. He's got all the pull. It's his game to play. He's got the rules to set. So I don't know what to tell
I know, but
him.
like who are you? you're talking about UFC as a business, right? Who would you rather put up, Stipe Miocic or Francis Ngannou?
As a champion?
As a champion.
Francis. It's obvious.
Right?
He's the more marketable guy. He's got the incredible backstory.
So is he the B-side?
And he's going to be the guy that's going to fight every 2 months. He's going to be what the fans
we
want.
Always wanted for heavyweights. Absolutely. This is Francis Ngannou's last 4 fights. Curtis Blades, first round knockout. Cain Velasquez, first round knockout. Junior Dos Santos, first round knockout. Jairzinho Rosenstruck, first round knockout. I mean, like, for Stipe to say, whatever, oh, I got to wait, or I don't know if I want to fight him. I fought this guy in January of 2018, which coming up is 3 fucking years ago. At some point, you got to rematch the man. This is the number 1 contender in the heavyweight division. You have to rematch him. And, dude, let's make it before December of 2021. Like, I'm tired of waiting for these fights.
They're saying February or March.
Oh,
that's
okay.
the rumors.
Well, that's good.
So it's going to happen. Yeah. It's just the story is Francis has been waiting. What now?
Since May.
Since May,
almost
so
a full
over
year.
6 months.
Yep. His last fight against Jairzinho Rosenstruck was like May 9th. At UFC 249.
Yeah.
May.
Yeah. Sucks.
And he fought for 20 seconds. So it's like, I do feel for the guy, man. You get in the octagon and
why he's frustrated.
It's just frustrating. It's like, we need to see this fight, and I hate when guys just sit on their belts. Like GSP did one of the most respectable things in the sport. He won the middleweight division and then vacated it essentially that day because he said, "Hey, I got a stomach problem. I'm not going to defend it. I'm not going to hold this division up for a year." Like, and that's the thing with Khabib too. Like, look at Khabib. Khabib has done the interim belt, and not only that, but when Khabib, like right now, he's going to meet up with Dana White next month, and then they're going to make a decision, and he's either going to vacate or he's going to keep it. But that decision will be made within a month before all these big fights take place. It's so frustrating to me that like we don't ever hear any word from Stipe. We never know what the fuck's going on in the heavyweight division. And honestly, I'm tired of it. Like I'm tired of it.
He doesn't talk to the media.
Yeah. Like you're the champ.
He's like Marshawn.
Okay. Here's the thing. You have an obligation to the organization, to the people when you are the champ. Okay. And an obligation that you don't normally have otherwise, right? So like if a guy's a top contender and he doesn't fight for a year, you don't have to answer any questions because you're not the champ. But when you are a champion for an organization, like it is only fair for people to know when you're going to fight next and not just to keep everyone in limbo all the time or to say things like, oh, I don't want to fight that guy. I already fought that guy. You know, like I know he's trying to get the John Jones fight. I know that's what he's trying to do. But it's like Francis Ngannou is a clear-cut number 1 heavyweight in the world. And like John Jones is just going to tickle your balls for a couple months, and then he might not even take the fight to begin with, right? John might not want that fight. So let's just make this Ngannou fight happen, man. I'm so over it.
It's happening. I don't know why you're trying to rush the guy in, dude. He's going to get knocked out in 30 seconds if that's what you want. I mean, that must be what you want because you cannot rush into a fight right after 6 months after a 5-round war with Daniel Cormier, which is what happened. Remember, he went in a 5-round legendary war.
No,
that's what that first Francis Ngannou fight was. It was a fucking ass beating on the side of Stipe. Oh, I mean, but he still was getting clipped and destroyed with massive punches, but walked through it. And then I can't be shocked that 6 months later, DC goes and knocks him out with 1 punch. I understand why Stipe is wanting to wait. His chin might still be compromised. This is something DC even said on his podcast multiple times. If Stipe goes and fights Francis 6 months after he just fought me, he's going to get knocked out in the first round.
Well, bro, I'm not making any bones about it. I'm team Ngannou. Like he's the future. He's the future of the heavyweight division. I want to see this guy fight 2-3 times a year as a young gun. Like I'm Stipe, greatest heavyweight of all time. I love it.
And he will if he becomes champ. It's just Stipe. I get it, dude. He's on the tail end of his career. I mean, he's 38 years old, 37 years old. He doesn't have that many fights left. So I understand why he's waiting. I don't want to rush him in there just to get KO'd in the
I'm not even saying rushing him in, dude. I just want a timetable. That's all I'm asking for. Dude, they could even sign this fight in like June or July and it could almost be a full year. Okay. Just at least let us know. Like, at least let us know where you stand. But I feel like every single time, he defends his belt, it's in limbo for like 8 months. So we don't know what the fuck is going on. We don't even know if Stipe's still alive. We don't know where he's at. And like, I get it. He's a private guy, but at least let us know, hey, this is when I plan on fighting again. I think I would have more respect if you would just do that. Like you're a champion. Like we got to know. Like guys like Israel Adesanya, like he lets the fans know. Kamaru Usman had to pull out of a fight not too long ago. They let us know when that fight was going to happen again. But tell me, like, when's the last time we ever knew what was going on in the heavyweight division as far as the champion?
Never.
That's what I hate. That's what I hate. And I think talking it through, talking it out, I think that's what I'm most upset about. I'm not necessarily upset that, it'll take 9 or 10 months. I'm more upset about not ever knowing what's going on, especially when you have a top contender like Francis Ngannou. So,
yeah. And I mean, you're sharing his frustrations because that must be the exact same thing he's going through because he doesn't know either.
Right.
I mean, who knows? Who knows? I mean, everyone's saying February, March, rumor on the street. Other than that, everyone's in limbo with this fight. It's Stipe 3 all over again.
Yeah, it is. But, I mean, again, like February and March, that's actually ahead of what I even anticipated. I honestly was thinking like probably June or July, maybe International Fight Week. I would have been okay with that. It's just me not knowing is what I hate. That's it. That's what it comes down to.
And the unfortunate thing for Francis is you can't make an interim title fight.
No.
Like, who are you going to fight?
Who's he going to fight?
Who the fuck are you going to fight? You're going to KO Curtis Blades for the third time? Like,
it's like, no. Beat Rosenstruck, technically lost to Derek Lewis, but we don't want to see a rematch of that, for an interim belt. So, who do you fight?
There's no one.
Alistair Overeem, you sent his fucking head to planet Mars, so.
And Alistair wants that fight.
I don't want him to have that fight. I don't want him to have that fight.
No one does, other than him. He's the only one. All right, Mason. I think it's time, dude. Let's start this preview show. Oh, my goodness. The most stacked fight night of the year. It's finally here. It's not the main event we wanted, but it's still a fantastic one.
Absolutely.
It's not 5 rounds, but it'll still be a fantastic fight. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson versus Jeff Hands of motherfucking Steel Neal.
Wow.
I really can't wait for this fight, Mason. It's going to be an amazing main event. The co-main's amazing as well. I mean, just going down the list. I mean, a 7-fight main card to end out the year.
It's pretty nice.
Dude, there's like, 14 or 15 fights on this card?
Uh-huh. Yeah, there's quite a few.
Quite a few. Maybe they're preparing for a whole bunch to fall out. A lot of fights did fall out last week. Maybe they overbooked this card specifically for that. If so, good on you guys, because I'm sure a lot of fights are going to fall through. Let's start at the top. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, Jeff Hands of Steel Neal. I don't really know where to start other than I guess I'm going to give Jeff Neal a puncher's chance, really. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is one of the greatest counter-strikers we've seen in a very long time in any division in the UFC period. I think he's up there with Israel. This is a bad matchup for Jeff Neal. I'm not going to lie. I kind of see Steven just piecing him up for 3 rounds. I wish it was 5 because I really, really like Stephen Wonderboy Thompson striking. It's beautiful to watch. That last fight at, what was that? What was that? When was that? I think it was in last November in Madison Square Garden. I think that was when he fought. Who did he piece up for 3 rounds? No, he got.
Till. It was.
I gotta. Whatever. Who cares?
I know who you're talking about, though.
It was Vicente Luque. God,
there you go. That's who it was. Yep, Vicente.
Completely
Luque.
dominated him and looked absolutely fantastic while doing it, dude. His striking looked as good as ever.
Yeah, he did.
It was a very entertaining fight.
That was the last time I ever watched a fight in public, too. Isn't that sad?
Yep. Super sad. But either way,
probably downer. Sorry.
It's okay. Well, I mean, if Jeff Neal can connect, I mean, obviously he could KO anybody. I think we've seen that. I just don't know if it happens. I'm going to give you my pick right now. I'm going Wonderboy decision. I think he's just going to completely just put a clinic on Jeff Neal and just completely outclass him for 3 rounds. And unfortunately, dude, I don't think anybody wants to fight Wonderboy. This is why he hasn't fought in so long. I think it's very hard to get people to fight this man, and I don't blame them.
All right. Well, I'm actually going to change my pick. I initially was going to go Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. But, you know, Vegas odds right now have these fighters at both a -110. So this is essentially even money. They don't know. This is definitely the definition of a pick'em fight. But that's the thing with Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, one of the best counter strikers in the game. But when you're talking about Jeff Neal, he's got so much power in his hands. He's elusive. And if he can get inside and just land the shot, the same kind of shot that Anthony Pettis landed against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, I mean, you're going to have a lights out scenario. And Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, he's getting older in his career. He's 37 years old. Jeff Neal's kind of on the come up. He's had some fantastic knockouts against guys like Nico Price, Bilal Muhammad. There's been a few guys that he's beaten. So I just see this. I'm going to go Jeff Neal second round KO. Why not? I got nothing to lose here.
I remember that Nico Price fight was wild.
Yes, it was.
Wild fight. And he almost got finished a couple of times by Nico. So, shit. I mean, if Nico Price is getting real close to finishing Jeff Neal, maybe this is a bit of, I don't know. I don't see him outstriking Steven. I think Steven is just the best counter striker we've seen in a very long time, other than maybe in Israel. So, it's very hard for me to pick a Jeff Neal in this fight. And as much as I want to, because I am a big fan of his and I really enjoy watching his fights. I mean, the way he separated Mike Perry from his consciousness was vicious.
Yeah, within the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, vicious. So, I mean, it really does only take one, but I mean, it's so hard to land that one on Stephen Wonderboy Thompson.
Absolutely.
I don't see it happening. So I got to stick with my pick here, Wonderboy UD. Let's talk about this Jose Aldo versus Marlon Vera fight. So Jose Aldo, he's coming off of a good win streak in this division. Just joking. He hasn't won a fight at 135. Still fighting a top guy, though, Marlon Vera.
Absolutely.
I mean, is he trying to stick around at 135 in the long run? I mean, he must. He didn't get the title shot. I don't think he's ever getting another title shot again, unless it's maybe at a 145. I just don't see it happening. I'm going Cheeto Vera in this fight. Unanimous decision. I think Jose Aldo, I mean, I don't feel like a dick by saying that. I think his cardio is just gone.
Yeah. No, he definitely doesn't have the gas tank anymore to go 5 rounds. I think that's been on full display. I mean, since we've watched it. And to take nothing away against Jose Aldo, I mean, some guys fight like that. Some guys go out there, they throw as best they can, they try to finish a dude, and I respect it. I appreciate it. But I think at this point in Jose Aldo's career, like, there's no way this man's going to go 5 rounds anymore. Like, if he's going out there, you know his game plan. He's going to try to take your head off. He's going to try to do it within the first 2 rounds. And if not, then you're probably going to win the fight. The longer these fights go on, the better odds his opponents have. And that's just the case when it comes to Jose Aldo's gas tank. Marlon Vera, a super impressive performance against Sugar Sean O'Malley. He was the man who famously finished Sugar Sean in the first round, and I am really liking the way this man fights. I mean, he fights with so much veracity, and he did have that tough loss against Song Yadong, but I don't know, man. I think Marlon Vera is on this level. I think he's been elevated. I think he's going to go out there at a slight underdog at plus 125. I have Marlon Vera winning this fight by decision as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. I mean, I don't want to say Jose Aldo's gas tank is completely gone. I guess I should take those words back because he does survive a little bit, but I even in this 3-round
but in championship rounds, he doesn't.
Well,
he doesn't. In this 4 and 5, he doesn't.
We might find out he might not even have the cardio to go 3 rounds, dude. Marlon puts a pace on people like not a lot of other fighters can. Yeah. And if he is putting that pace on Jose and staying in his face and constantly throwing punches, it could be an early finish. It could be a quick night for Marlon.
It definitely could be. And that's the thing. I like seeing Jose Aldo when he has a fight with 3 rounds. That gets me more excited than Jose Aldo 5 rounds because I know everyone's game plan, right? They're not going to be, going balls to the wall trying to finish it within 3 rounds. But with a 3-round fight, you got a lot more work to do right in front of you. And Marlon Vera, Cheeto Vera is the perfect guy to put in front of Jose Aldo for this. So I really love this fight. But again, I'm taking Marlon Vera to plus 125 to win this fight UD.
So if Jose Aldo loses, I mean, does he have to move back up to 145?
I don't care where he goes at that point.
I don't care either, but
I think he could still fight. Like, I mean, he's actually relatively young still, which is wild because I watched him back in the WEC days. Like, Jose Aldo's been around forever, and he's still relatively young. So, like, he can go anywhere, man. I mean, he's going to sell. He's going to draw eyeballs. It's Jose Aldo. You know exactly what you're going to get with a fighter like this. So, whether or not he stays at bantamweight or moves back up to featherweight, like whatever it is, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I'll still watch his fights.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
still going to root for the guy. I mean, he's just a legend.
Oh, he's a legend of the sport, unquestionably.
Yeah. Let's move on to this Michel Pereira versus Chaos Williams. Woo! This is the first fight. I'm going to say, folks, you guys need to asterisk. Make sure you watch this fight.
Don't take a piss break before. Yeah. Do not go to the bathroom before this fight, man. I'm telling you right now, because you will miss a spectacular knockout. I mean, let's talk about Michel Pereira in the way he is just so, the way he moves. Like, it's so unorthodox. It's weird. He dances. He's moving in the octagon. He's literally the man famously known for backflipping on his opponents. He almost did it every single time up until his last fight. I mean, he was doing backflips every single time. He's a wild man. But then you talk about Chaos Williams. Are you kidding me or what? This man will put you to sleep. And that's what he does. Like, you couldn't have named someone better than Chaos Williams to take on this guy, man. And I know that's not his real name, but still, it's his name, right?
I think it is his name. I think that's his real name.
Well, isn't it Callan? Isn't his real name Callan?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I think his real name's
I thought his real name was Chaos, so I was like, this is the coolest motherfucker ever.
Yeah.
But, dude, so essentially you got crazy, unorthodox, wild, backflipping acrobat striker versus crazy, unorthodox, one-punch, get the fuck out of my way striker. I mean, it's only chaos that's going to come out of this fight.
Absolutely.
And I can't wait for it. So whether it goes 3 rounds or whether it's a first round KO, either guy wins, I don't care. I'm not going to lie. I just want to watch it, and I'm going to be very entertained, possibly inebriated, and I can't wait. Chaos Williams, first round KO. Is that what you picked? I agree.
That's the same thing I have too. I just think Chaos Williams is just gonna. He's a madman too. I mean, I know Michelle is, but Michel Pereira has beaten guys like Diego Sanchez and that's still it's great to win. But Chaos Williams, he's just a young and upcomer. He looks great, man. He looks scary.
That last knockout of Abdul Razak Al Hassan was fucking vicious,
insane.
Dude. Just he KO'd a guy that KOs people.
Yep. He
first round KO'd a guy, one punch KO'd a guy that one punch KOs people. So it was a great matchup at the time, and this is an even better one. I think I cannot wait for this fight. It's either going to be a 3-round war or someone's going to sleep very early. Either way, I can't wait.
Yep.
So. Next fight, another one you got asterisk, another one you can't miss.
It's gonna be a fun one too, man.
It'll be a fun one. I don't think it will be as competitive.
I got a question for you on the podcast. I'm gonna put you on the spot, okay? Because I already have someone who's already confirmed for next week. Would you want to do a fight companion for this?
Yes.
You want to do a fight companion?
Agree.
Okay.
Yeah, let's
do a fight companion next week for this because it's too good of a card not to, especially for a fight night.
Let's not do all 7 fights. That'll be 9 hours long.
We'll probably start tuning in at the Greg Hardy fight.
Perfect.
Yep.
Perfect. Yeah, but this fight, Marlon Moraes, Rob Font, it's a fantastic fight. Rob Font's a guy that I feel like everyone kind of counts out in his fights, but he still comes out and just puts on a fantastic performance and finds ways to win against very, very elite fighters. But Marlon Moraes is a fucking savage, dude.
Yes,
I mean, he could knock you out with any limb. If he touches you with anything, you can go to sleep. I think it's going to be back-to-back first-round KOs. I'm going Marlon Moraes first-round KO. No offense to Rob Font. I just think there are levels to this, and Marlon Moraes is just the next level striker, and Rob Font's going to want to try to keep this on the feet. It's not going to end well for him. I wouldn't be shocked if he's viciously KO'd, unfortunately.
Oh, geez. Okay.
I just wouldn't be shocked.
I do have to say, though, Rob Font really impressed me against Ricky Simone. Last year was his last fight. I think it was like December. And Marlon Moraes is coming off that unfortunate loss to Corey Sandhagen. But I love this matchup. I really, really love this matchup, Tabor. I have to go Moraes by decision. I think he just gets it done. I think he's a more well-rounded fighter. I thought Rob Font, not discrediting him, he looked fantastic against Ricky Simone. But, there are levels to this game. And I think Moraes is still a top contender in this bantamweight division. So
his striking is just too good, dude.
Yeah.
He's just too good. I don't like the matchup with Rob Font. I don't like his style of striking matched up against Marlon. I think Marlon is just too fast. He's got the better kicks, the better punches, more powerful, faster. I just think he's a better overall fighter, and he could prove us.
Yeah,
could prove us right, or he could prove us wrong. Rob Font is a motherfucker.
Yes,
you can't ever
he
count
is.
the guy.
No,
you
do
really
not count
can't.
that man out.
Yeah. So next fight, Marcin Tybura versus Greg Hardy. Greg Hardy's back at it again. I mean, how many fights has he taken this year? It's got to be 3 or 4. It's quite a few. He's kind of tumultuous. I mean, he did step up and take that Volkanovski fight.
Yes,
or not
did.
Volkanov, 145
Volkov,
yeah, Volkov.
You know what? I did that last night too when I was watching. I know when I was watching the fight, Giddy was talking about Volkanovski, and I mean, you mean Vulcan? He was like, what? I go, or no, yeah, no, you're right. Volkanovski.
Volkov.
There's too many Vulcans, man. There's too many Volk this, Volk that, and you just get confused after a while. But yes, no, Vulcan, right.
Yeah, well, Greg Hardy and Tybura, I think this is a great matchup for Greg. This is a big test for him, too, because Tybura is no fucking joke, and he is a legit vet. I mean, 26 fights under his belt, and I don't know how many of those have been in the UFC, but it's been a while. He's been in the UFC for a few years now, and he's fought in some of the best in the game, some ranked guys. So this is a huge test for Greg Hardy.
Yeah, he's been fighting since at least 2016 in the UFC.
Yeah, so he's been in for a while. He's definitely got a lot more experience in the octagon, way more fights, way more octagon time. But Greg Hardy, he's just an athlete, dude. Former NFL player. He's just a fucking freak of nature. You can't count him out either.
No.
He could finish it in one punch. It hasn't happened in a while. He's been going to these 3-round wars lately. And if you go to a 3-round war with Tybura, it might not end well for you. I kind of want to pick Tybura, but I'm going to actually throw a little wrench in there. I'm going Greg Hardy decision. He might impress us all. I'm going out of a limb because a 3-round fight with Tybura is going to be rough for him, but I think he could do it. You know, I think he's going to impress everybody.
Yeah. And, you know, we'll talk about Greg Hardy a little bit. I mean, he impressed me in his last fight against Maurice Green. He looked really good. He got that, the second round early finish, and that round was an early finish. Greg Hardy has fought guys like Yorgan De Castro, who was kind of on his up and up before, facing Greg Hardy. Like, I really do.
With legitimate kickboxing experience as well.
Yeah.
In Yorgan De Castro.
But I will say this, Greg Hardy has to end this fight in order to win it, because Marcin Tybura is known for going to decision and winning those decisions. He's the more tactical striker. You know, he can go into those deep, murky waters. I mean, we saw that against Ben Rothwell. We've seen that against Maxim Grishin.
He's got an underrated ground game as well.
Absolutely. So this is another one of those matchups that I just love. I'm super excited, but I do think Tybura edges this one out. I think he's going to win decision. Marcin Tybura decision.
I feel like that's the much safer pick.
Yes.
I'm really leaning Tybura too.
But check this out.
I just don't know.
Yeah, check this out though.
Dude.
Vegas has got Greg Hardy at a -120, Marcin Tybura at a +100, so even money on that.
Vegas
it's a very
is
interesting
counting
money.
on that first round KO probably.
I think so.
Yeah, it could happen. So next fight, Julian Roberson, my girl, versus Talia Santos. Talia Santos, unanimous decision.
Wow, easy to the point.
Easy as that.
All right.
We'll break down the fight a little bit. Talia Santos, she hasn't had the most experience in the UFC, only a couple of fights.
Yeah.
But she's had a lot of fights in her career.
She has.
More than Roberson. Roberson's got a little more UFC experience, got a little more octagon time, and has fought some ranked girls.
Like
something
Macy
that Talia
Barber.
Santos, exactly, and something that Talia Santos hasn't done. But I do think this is a pretty good matchup. I like Santos's striking. I think she's going to have the advantage on the feet. Unless Roberson can get her down to the ground, then, I do think Roberson will have that advantage on the ground. So I guess we'll see how good Santos's takedown defense is. I think it'll hold up. I'm going Santos decision.
Yeah, with this fight, I think Jillian Robertson is obviously, her last couple fights, she's gotten a few submissions. She's looking good. Her jiu-jitsu looks good. But again, Talia Santos, I was really impressed with that last fight against Molly McCann, Meatball McCann, She looked great out there. And Jillian Robertson in her career, like, I don't know. I don't know if it's the red hair that throws me off a little bit, but no, I'm just joking. But in all seriousness, I am also going Santos. I'm going to go decision as well.
All right. Anthony Pettis versus Alex Morano. So I'm not going to lie. This Alex Morano, I'm not the most familiar with. I'm sure I've seen him fight quite a few times, but for some reason, his name just doesn't jump off the page for me. I should have went back and looked up a few of his fights. But unfortunately, he's fighting a guy that I have a lot of confidence behind in Anthony Pettis. Yes, Anthony Pettis hasn't had the best career since he lost his title. It's been a very tumultuous win one, lose one, win one, lose one, win one, lose one. Sometimes lose 2 or 3 in a row.
Yeah, but
He hasn't had the most success, but he is still an elite fighter.
Yeah.
He's only losing to top guys, I feel like.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, let's look at Anthony Pettis, because I feel like that's what I thought too initially. But let's go back to 2018. He lost to Tony Ferguson, right? Then went out and beat Michael Chiesa, who's top 10 in the world right now. Then he goes out and loses that fight to Nate Diaz, right? Which it's Nate Diaz. It was a good fight back and forth. Nate got a little bit better of him. And then, keep in mind, he knocked out Stephen Wonderboy Thompson last year, back in 2019, right? Yeah. And then he went out and beat Donald Cowboy Cerrone. And then, the untimely loss against Ferreira. So it is a win one, lose one, but the guys he's beating are still top echelon. It's not like the man's past his prime. It's not like he shouldn't be out there fighting, It's just, I do agree with you, though. It is back and forth, but the guys he does beat, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I agree. I like the Cowboy fight. I thought it was a great matchup. It really was a perfect matchup for those two.
It was.
Both of those guys needed to win.
I thought the Nate Diaz one was, too. That one was a lot of fun.
I don't see Pettis making a run right now. It doesn't matter what division. I don't even know what divion this fight is in. Is this welterweight or is this lightweight? I would assume it's 170.
It's a welterweight fight.
Okay. I would assume that. I don't know. I mean, maybe he can be right back in this. Maybe he can be right back into the top 5 170. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. Alex Barono, I don't know where he is in this welterweight division. Maybe he's right outside the top 15, or maybe he's a little bit down there.
Yeah. February 8th, he lost to Chaos Williams and then came back and beat Rise McKee by decision in November.
Okay.
So.
Okay, then I think this is a perfect matchup. I really think this is a great matchup. Both men. I don't think you should be throwing Anthony Pettis into the Savage Den right now, essentially, is what I'm saying. I don't want to see him fight a Hazmat Chimaev.
Right. No, absolutely
that's what
not.
I'm trying to say.
No. Yeah.
So I think this is a perfect matchup. I'm leaning Anthony Pettis. I'm not going to lie. I'm thinking Pettis decision.
Yep.
I think I'm going to stick with that Pettis decision. It seems like the safe pick for me right now. I think he's got so much more skills. I mean, just talk about the skill set. Amazing stand-up. Some of the most unorthodox, craziest stand-up we've seen in years.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, he does some crazy shit. Maybe it's just to look cool after the Showtime kick. Maybe he's trying to show himself up or something. But you know what? If it works, it works. So I'm going Pettis decision. I mean, if it goes down to the ground, I see Pettis winning. If it stays on the feet, I see Pettis winning.
Yeah. I have Anthony Pettis here. I have him winning also by decision. So.
Alrighty, Mason. We made it.
We did.
It's that time. Shout outs. I will start this week. So remember, guys, my shout out every week, it goes to a YouTube commenter. So leave a comment on any of our videos, whether it's a clip of the show or a full episode. Doesn't matter if it's nice. If you're talking shit, it'll get on the show. Just make me laugh. If I like it, I'm going to read it out loud. So this week's commenter, Jesus, these names, man. These names are killing me. Adnan Khan. I see Oliveira being a champion in the near future with Khabib gone. Someone needs to step up and take over the grappling fear left by Khabib in the lightweight division. And I think Oliveira would take that spot with the striking too. He is the scariest guy in lightweight. Good work. Great preview, guys. Always look forward to your videos. Thank you so much for the nice words, my man. We really appreciate it. And like we said earlier, dude, we 100% agree. Oliveira is looking like the next guy at lightweight. I think he deserves a title shot. Who knows? I hope he gets, if not a title shot, a number one contender fight. Those are the only fights for my guy.
Yep. My shout out this week is to Brandon Moreno. I'm giving you a shout out for a few reasons. One, I needed to apologize. I opened the show apologizing. I will close the show by saying I am Team Moreno. I am on this bandwagon. And whether or not you win or lose this rematch, you have proven to the world that you are an elite contender. You are a champion, and you will be a champion. This fight just blew me away. Blew out my expectations. I mean, Moreno is so game. He looks incredible. So shout out to Brandon Moreno. Way to prove me wrong. Way to prove everyone else wrong. I love to see that. Genuinely, I love to see that. And I love to call myself out too, because I don't know anything. That's why I sit behind a mic, because Brandon Moreno, dude, hats off to you, man. Hats off to him.
Absolute savage, dude. Literally the embodiment of Mexican style heart, boxing, fucking everything.
Yep.
I mean, it's just name something good, a good trait that a fighter should have. Brandon Moreno has that. I really did think he won that fight. Going back, I'm happy it was a draw because now we get to see it again.
Of course.
And I might take him that second fight. I'm not going to lie. I am very impressed with Brandon Moreno on 3 weeks notice to take on a savage like that. So
Crazy.
Hats off to both men. It was an absolutely fantastic fight.
Absolutely.
Mason, another one, man. Another one. So everybody, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at the Church of MMA. Guys, if you aren't following us already, make sure you go and do it. We are posting funny memes. We're trying to make you laugh. Hit us up.
Check out our YouTube channel too, guys. We'd really like to hit 400 subscribers this next coming week. Stay tuned for that Fight Companion and more things to come on this channel. This is the Church of MMA. My name is Mason Knight. That is Tabor Cragen. And until next time,
peace.